What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and tonight is New Year's Eve, so hopefully you have a fantastic evening, but make sure you stay safe. I don't want to go into a whole PSA like Eric over at Eric, a Lions fan. Just make sure you stay safe and have a great evening. So for this special occasion, I thought I would do another comparison review, and this time of two beers from the Sierra Nevada Brewing Company out of both Chico, California and Mills River, North Carolina. And we have their Celebration Ale, the 2018 vintage, and the 2017 vintage. So both of the, my finger just stuck to this because it had a price on it that I took off. Anyway, both of these are American IPAs that come in at 6.8% alcohol by volume, 65 IBUs, and at the time of review, the 2018 vintage is honestly about 2.5 months old, and the 2017 vintage is about 14 months old. So this isn't super fresh, but it's as fresh as I could find it in early December. So, you know, it is what it is. What are you gonna do? Can't do much about it. But the whole point of this is that for a long time, a lot of people thought their Celebration Ale was like, you know, your typical winter warmer or Christmas/holiday themed beer with spices. I remember seeing an article going back 2010-11 from Bill Manley, who was the communications manager for Sierra Nevada. I think he moved on to Surly Brewing Company earlier this year. But he talked about how he would get a bunch of emails from fans of the beer talking about how like the cinnamon and nutmeg this year were fantastic. And he had to unfortunately respond to them and say, this is a fresh hop IPA. This is not a winter warmer. They basically take the fresh hop of Cascade, Centennial, and Chinook. They blend them together and they make this beer. And it's funny because when I first got into craft beer back in late 2009, early 2010, I bought this as like one of my first probably 20 or 30 beers. And I just remember hating it because my, at that time, #baby palate, I guess I still have a baby palate, wasn't acclimated whatsoever to IPA. So it just tasted like licking a pine tree. And I was not a fan of it, but I also was under the impression like it would have winter spices in it. I had no idea that it was a fresh hop IPA. They actually changed the label over the years. It now says Celebration Fresh Hop IPA and instead of just Celebration Ale. But yeah, I've always wanted to do a side-by-side. I try to buy this every single year, much in the vein of Great Lakes Christmas Ale. This is a beer that I try to buy every single year. I obviously bought a couple last year. I held on to one. I didn't know I was going to do a channel for sure, but I figured if I did, I would love to do a side-by-side. So many people like to do verticals of this beer, you know, 5-10 year verticals. I never have. Obviously, it's just an aged American IPA. That's all it is. I mean, that's what 2017 vintage is going to be, but I just want to see what the difference is between the two. And I thought it'd be, you know, a pretty cool video to do, and what better way to do it, or what better time to do it than at the end of the year. So here we are. Anyway, let's crack these both open. You know, I'm going to try the Massive Beers, Matt over at Massive Beer Review double pour. I'm sure this is going to go extremely poorly, so when I spill beer everywhere and look like a moron, you guys can say, that's the Joe I know and love. Or maybe hate, regardless. Anyway, let's do the double pour here. Labels out. Here we go. Not terrible. I did okay. Anyway, let's put these to the side here. So this one, like I said, about 2.5 months old. This one about 14 months old. And let's see how they pour out. So they both pour out very similar. There's not much of a difference. If anything, I'd say the vintage has maybe a deeper color to it. A lot of fine sediment in both. About a finger of a, I'd say light tan. That's not even off-white, light tan head. Yeah, they both look good, quite filtered. Although there is some chill haze probably on it. I took these out of the fridge. I've been out of the fridge for about 25 minutes or so. A little bit of chill haze, or maybe just, like I said, that fine sediment producing a haze. But anyway, they look very similar. Yeah, let's get a nose on the 2018, because this one, you should, I always feel like you should start from the newest version, and because then you have an idea what it's supposed to taste like fresh, and move back from that. Yeah, really nice resinous pine characters, a nice blast of like grapefruit into tangerine. And there is a spiciness there. Now, I wouldn't say cinnamon or nutmeg or ginger or allspice or anything like that, but has like just a spicy earthiness, like you would get from like almost like a noble hop or something. There is definitely a caramel backbone here that's really nice from the malt. It smells very balanced is the way that I would describe it to somebody. Can't pick up on the almost 7% alcohol by volume. Yeah, it just smells like your typical, you know, classic, like almost West Coast style IPA, which is kind of what it is. So let's get a nose on the 2017. Yeah, it's this is very malt driven, malt forward, tons of caramel and toffee. If Matt over at Massive Beer Reviews watches or listens to this, because he likes to listen to them in his car, I'm going to say this has a very distinct orange marmalade character. One of the few tasting notes he does not like, but I'm telling you, it's orange marmalade. Yeah, very bready orange, almost like orange peel in this one. Not as much of the grapefruit component. The resinous pine has kind of dropped off. This smells like a slightly aged, like American barley wine at this point. Doesn't smell bad, not in the least. I love orange marmalade, so, you know, whatever. Anyway, let's get a taste of the 2018 to see what this one has to offer. Cheers, everyone, and Happy New Year's, even though I don't know when you're going to watch this, but for me, not yet. Anyway, cheers. Yeah, it's just like pretty much similar to what I remember this beer being. Even at 2.5 months, not the freshest, still has a pretty big hop character to it. Right up front, it has carbonation, but it has a soft smoothness to this one that I don't remember having. It's very nice. The body is like straight up medium body. Right up front, you're hit with some sweeter, like almost ruby red grapefruit, tangerine notes, a little bit of juiciness there. As it passes through the palate, that resinous pine pops up along with that spicy, earthy hop component. It finishes relatively dry, dries out quite nicely, and you're left with this moderate bitterness on the back end that you know, stops it from being too sweet. I mean, that's the one thing I like about this beer. It's always been really balanced for me. And drinking so many juice bombs this year and reviewing them and whatnot, this is a very this is very welcome to my palate right now. This is just really tasty right now. Yeah, not much more to say about it. Very balanced beer. I won't rate it. I'll wait until the end, but I'm really, really digging that one quite a bit. Cleanse the palate. One more sip because that spiciness and that resinous pine kind of hang around a bit. All right, into the 2017 vintage. Cheers, everyone. Yeah, definitely. If I was drinking this blind, I would honestly, and I'm not shitting you, I would think this is an aged IPA. I think that would make for a very good mystery / whodunit beer review. Send somebody like a 2 or 3 year old IPA and just see if they can pick up on the age. I know Matt has probably, I think Matt's done a couple, I don't know, on purpose from the ones I've seen. But yeah, this is very, like I said, malt driven. Tons of caramel and toffee, very bready. And again, I'm going to say that orange marmalade. There's a lot of orange, tangerine, dare I say tangelo. It's not quite juicy. Like I said, it's more of like a orange peel. It has more of a bittering component, but it definitely tastes like orange marmalade on white bread. Not even toasted white bread, because there isn't really a toasty component to this one. It's just straight up white bread. It's sweeter. It doesn't have the bitterness that the 2017 has. But I'm digging this for different reasons. First off, the body is slightly bigger being aged. I don't know. This one's medium. I'd say this is slightly higher than medium. This is a little bit more soft and smooth. A little bit of carbonation is lost in this one. It's still carbonated, but not as much. And it definitely finishes sweeter. I knew going into this one, this is what I'd pretty much say about it, but obviously, not saying don't age them, but this is a beer, it's a fresh hop IPA. You want to drink this relatively fresh, certainly in the season that it's produced. Even at 2.5 months old, it still has a lot of hop character. This one at 14 months, not really. It is devolved into like an American barley wine. There is still some bitterness there, and there is some, you know, hop character, but more to the orange side of things. But this one's all about the malt. My personal preference, obviously, would be the fresh one. But this one, I don't even think at this point you can really call it an IPA. Like I said, it's kind of evolved into something else. I do enjoy both of them, but this one way more. So if I had to give a rating, I don't know if it's just how it's resonating with me right now, but I'm really digging this one. Typically, this gets like a 4 out of 5. I'm going to give this a 4.25 out of 5. The 2018 Celebration Ale from Sierra Nevada. 4.25 out of 5, still drinking extremely well right now. The 2017 Celebration Ale Vintage. I'm going to give this one a 3.5 out of 5. It's not a bad beer, but it's completely changed from the 2018 into something that's not really even recognizable in some aspects. Like I said, I would say don't age these, but if you want to do a side-by-side, like a 5-year vertical would be pretty cool. I'd imagine this will, like I said, devolve or evolve the way you look at it, depending on the way you look at it, into something that's going to be more akin to like an old ale or like a lower ABV old ale or barley wine. Obviously, this is under 7%, so not really in that territory, but the flavors are very reminiscent of like an old ale or a American barley wine. Yeah, really do enjoy this one. Now it's time to mix them almost the same. So I'm going to pour just into this one and we'll see what we got going on here. Let's do the Covey. I say Cuvey now, just out of instinct. Don't drink beer. Awesome channel, awesome just content. Hilarious dude. He always says, is that the Covey? And I always use Cuvey. I know, it's Cuvée. I'm all right. Just settle down. Kind of muted in the nose. If I had to guess, I would say that the aged one's kind of taking over a little bit. Still more of that orange peel, orange, almost like orange marmalade-y thing. The hops get kind of lost. Anyway, let's get into it. Cheers. That's actually nice. Let me cleanse the palate. I'm starting to get, now with them mix, I'm getting this like candied orange, candied grapefruit. I still think it leads more towards the 2017 vintage, but there's a bit more of a hop presence there. Yeah, this is really nice. Finish is a bit sweeter, but it is a bit more balanced out than the 2017. Yeah, this is actually pretty nice. I'd give this like a 3.75 approaching 4. Definitely better than just the 2017 vintage by itself. Not as good as the 2018 vintage. So that was Sierra Nevada Celebration Ale, the 2018 vintage and the 2017 vintage. Like I said, if I'm being honest and what my preference is, it's fresh. Drink it fresh. That's the way to go. But if you do want to age a bottle or two for science or just to do something like this, do so. I think I paid like, it's $1.75, $2 for a bottle, so you're not, going crazy price point. And it was a lot of fun to do. So hopefully you guys have a great New Year's Eve. I'm gonna be back tomorrow for a New Year's Day review, and that'll probably be the end of the holiday reviews for this year. So appreciate you guys stopping by, and until the next one, I'm not gonna cheers the empty glass, but cheers everybody.